Warning. Incoming rant. Warning. Incoming rant.
Hello Internet, I'm Corion, your witch in residence here on YouTube. And today I'm going to do a thing I don't normally do. Normally, I talk about what is good and what we can learn from, and even things that are videos that I feel have cultural significance, and if you miss them, you really need to take a look. I'm not doing that today. I'm not doing that because one of the people who attended the Bronze Age collapse live stream, I can't remember your name, but you caused this, asked me more than once if I would compare the acolyte's version of witches to what actual Wicca witches do. Now, in order to do that, I got to set some baselines and things for you to understand here, okay? I'm going to present for the first time, I think, on here what my actual titles are in witchcraft and my information so that I can show you I'm legit, okay? That I really know what I'm talking about. I'm not doing this to brag, okay? Here, I may be your friendly neighborhood witch, but when I'm away from the internet, the other hat I wear is that I am the vice president of the New Wiccan Church of Canada and the high priest of Candlestone Coven. If you wish, I can provide my full lineage, which is how you can confirm whether a witch is a legitimate witch or not by comparing who their teachers were, going all the way back to their original progenitor. And along the way, usually you can confirm with those people whether they actually are or not, although some members of my line have since passed beyond the veil here. Now, I also need to set the tone of what witches have been portrayed as so far in Star Wars. And I actually, for the record, think they're pretty good. The witches that we know from the extended universe and from some of the various media that Star Wars has put out is the witches of Dathomir. Now, they were started by a banished Jedi. They learned, they split into different tribes, and all of them but the Night Sisters follow the light side of the Force, okay? That makes a lot of sense to me, right? Most of the tribe's position in the world is do no harm, but take no guff. And that's a position that my groups take for the most part, right? I guess the best way to say is, and this is actually, the Witches of Dathomir make a lot of sense to how modern witchcraft, modern British traditional witchcraft actually started, because it was started by a person, and now various lines or lineages around the world call this section home, and all of us are, for lack of a better term, on the light side of the Force, right? We all believe in compassion for our fellow man, woman, animal. We believe in taking care of people, in being charitable and being kind, just like the rest of the witches of Dathomir. The Night Sisters are a special case. I get that there has to be a villain. I like that there is a nuanced view here, though, right? I mean, you know, yes, there are some good witches, there are some bad witches. This is a good thing, right? Wizard of Oz does this too, and I like that for it, right? Now, I don't know. Now, I also want to set another piece of this. The word coven is actually a contraction word of covenant, okay? Which is a promise between the gods and the people involved. That's what a covenant is, okay? It is not short for displaced colony like it is in the Acolyte. So I don't know exactly what Leslie Headland, the alleged co-conspirator of Harvey Weinstein, actually thinks witches are. I mean, whoever did her research for her is just terrible. And if she did it herself, then I really do think that if she was an American, she would have a pending appointment with The Hague for war crimes. But I need to explain some key points that I just found infuriating, that they would attach the word witch to these practices. Okay? So I'm going to go through those things that really rubbed me the wrong way. Okay? We don't initiate children. Most covens won't even consider a person joining them for ritual till they are either 21 in the United States or 19 in Canada. It's usually tied to the drinking age in your location. We encourage everyone who comes out to ritual to be free and unique, because we do not believe in imposing uniformity like we saw here, right? We perform rituals in a circle because while we do need someone leading the ritual, in circle we're all equal, okay? We are unique, each and every one of us. But in ritual, we are one mind, one will, okay? The rank of mother doesn't exist, okay? The ranks in traditional craft are student. It's usually gender neutral. It's for someone who has not yet been initiated into the coven. And they're typically sub-ranked by year. So you got like a first-year student, second-year student, that kind of thing. Once you are initiated, you've earned the title. You're not gifted. You are earning the title of priest/priestess and witch. Okay? As you progress, you become a high priest or priestess and elder. And then finally, women get crowned a witch queen, men the witch magnus. Okay? And I'm going to be honest with you. While you hear those terms, only those practitioners that are really up their own asses ever use those titles. Okay? In craft spaces, despite being one of the very few male second degrees, I'm not called elder Corion or father or reverend. I'm Corion, or Cor if people are being friendly with me. No one ever bows to anyone in ritual. Our gods require us to stand in their presence, right? The one that upsets me most, though, and this is the most important thing I can ever explain about witchcraft, is that being a witch is a choice. It requires the deepest of commitments, oaths being sworn that are not easily broken, okay? It's not for the timid or the unsure or those who aren't old enough to make those decisions rationally. Okay, when one chooses to be a witch, they do so with the understanding that they are leaving the pack, the general humanity, behind to become something else. Okay? They choose to walk what we call the fragile path, knowing that each choice along the path can lead to it shattering, but doing so anyway because it is the calling of our heart, the will of the soul. We choose to be teachers, healers, dreamers, shapers, makers, and if needed, protectors. And we do so because we are like the arrow loosed from the bow. No regret, no fear, just a glad anticipation of what is to come. Now, none of that ecstatic energy is shown here. There's no passion, there's no love, there's no music or joy. It's just a dogmatic adherence to some kind of weird chord magic that honestly looks like the crap that's peddled on TikTok, right? I'm insulted personally by the acolyte. I'm insulted by the failures of others to not take the time to learn what being and living as a witch is. We are wild and free, yet when the goddess or her consort, the god, is called, we work with one voice, with one passion, to aid our brothers and sisters, or for whoever should ask for our need. It's actually true that one may ask of us a boon before each full moon. If we find it worthy, if it will cause no harm to others, and is urgent or needed, we will help. That's our way. The acolyte is not the way. the acolyte is an insult. Now, some of you are going to be familiar with similar things. I mean, I'm particularly calling out a couple of groups, but I'm sure there are others, okay? Muslims, Jews, even Hindus, right? They're going to know what I'm talking about here. They know what it feels like to have their faith used as a tool of insult, okay? Now, some of you who have been fortunate, who are Christian, who have a live and let live kind of attitude and may not have seen this before, I'd like, and anyone who really hasn't seen this before, I'd like you to imagine, if you will, turning on this TV and seeing your faith portrayed as a cult whose founders cannibalize their leader, then use that to claim that if they're willing to eat their leader, Jesus, imagine what they will do to you. In truth, this actually did sadly happen. It was the excuse the Romans used to feed Christians to the lions. It was wrong then, it's wrong now. Just like it's wrong to believe that all Muslims are terrorists, all Jews are bankers, or all Hindus are cabbies or convenience store clerks. It's wrong. It's really, really wrong, right? But the problem is, I think I'm pretty resigned to it. I've gotten used to being steamrolled by a very small California culture that believes itself to be the moral majority. The truth is, I'm used to being seen as the bad guy in media. Look, I know it's hard sometimes. I know not everyone wants to really think like this, but learn another culture, okay? Study a faith that isn't your own, just a little. Because of two reasons. One, it'll broaden your horizons. And two, it'll answer a really important question for you. Is your faith in your own beliefs strong enough to survive seeing how close other faiths are to yours, right? Personally, this has happened with me. I didn't really want to learn about Sikh culture until I bit the bullet and sat down and did it. And man, I feel foolish for that, because there is a beauty in their service. There is a humble grace about making the decision that anyone who comes to their temples will be fed. Anyone who comes to their temples will be cared for like their family. And that I really appreciate and that I really respect. And it made me realize how important that hospitality is in my culture, and how maybe I should put a little more focus on that. Maybe I should be ready to welcome people in and make sure that there is food and drink for them when they arrive, and take care of them as I would want my people to be taken care of. So, getting back to our point, did the acolyte get anything right? No, not even a little. But do I expect Hollywood to change on that? Not really. The writers who seem to be in favor right now don't care about any culture but their own. And it's a shame too, because the world is full of wonderful stories that we all need to hear. I really hope one day we get someone in Hollywood interested in telling us tales we haven't heard 1,000 times. Guys, I want to thank you for listening to my rant. I want to thank you for letting me get this off my chest. This video idea was brought forward by you, and I hope you would continue to do that. In the comments, I'd like to hear about the times media really got your culture wrong and the times that got it really right, and maybe we can compile those ones that got it really right and put together a video list. I would love to sit down and review those videos in like one super mega video and tell me and explain what I learned from them and what I hope you can take from them. So I think this is a project that we could do, and that would be great. Guys, thank you so very much. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.